100 million euros. That's the kind of money that could land in Real Madrid's coffers in the coming days. And all because of a name that seemed untouchable not long ago. But hold on. There's a secret meeting happening in London, 2 English giants involved, and the most controversial agent in Europe sticking his nose into this story. And the soap opera doesn't stop there, because a familiar face to the merengue fans, who now lives surrounded by petrodollars in Saudi Arabia, wants to give his coach a special gift. A Real Madrid player who lives between the bench and oblivion. But the guy is torn between a millionaire contract and the dream of making history in white. The choice won't be easy. And there's more. The new boss, Xabi Alonso, has been obsessed with only one thing since he arrived: turning Real Madrid into an intensity machine. And for that, he's changing everything from the ground up. Want to know how? Hold on, we'll tell you. But before anything else, subscribe to the channel. Here it's daily content about the greatest club in the world. If you love Real Madrid, you can't miss anything. Let's grow this family together. The phone in Real Madrid's boardroom hasn't stopped ringing, brother. And this time it's not just any call. It's one of those that makes the meeting room in Valdebebas stop, with the directors looking at each other sideways and saying, "It's him!" Yes, on the other side of the line is an old acquaintance of the house, the powerful Al Ittihad, the team where our eternal striker, the legendary Karim Benzema, shines. And the target now is a player who lives in eternal limbo between being useful and being forgotten. We're talking about Dani Ceballos, that technical, gritty midfielder with vision, but who never seems to truly establish himself at Real Madrid. One day he comes in well, the next he disappears. He lives a roller coaster that leaves even the most loyal fan confused. Should he stay or go? The story with Real Betis, his boyhood club, is already turning into a Mexican soap opera. Ceballos keeps talking about going back, Betis keeps saying the doors are open, but when it comes down to it, nothing happens. And you know why? Because Real Madrid wants between 15 and 20 million euros, and the salary he earns is heavy, star level. And let's be real, Betis, with all the affection they have, doesn't have the funds to pay that bill. But now the situation is different. Al Ittihad came in strong, with infinite money and a proposal that could shake any player. The Saudis want to give Ceballos a golden contract, with red carpet treatment, astronomical figures, and the chance to play alongside Benzema again. And it's not just about the money. They believe the Spaniard could be one of the pillars of their midfield. According to the newspaper Sport, the proposal should arrive in the coming days, and it won't be small. The numbers haven't leaked yet, but you can imagine it'll be way more than any European club, except the Giants, could offer. But wait, there's more. Even with all this tempting scenario, Ceballos is still resisting. He doesn't want to leave through the back door, as if he were just another name in the squad. He still believes he can earn his place with Xabi Alonso, who, according to sources close to the club, actually likes Ceballos' style and wants to keep him as a rotation piece, especially now that the squad is thinner in midfield. And here comes the big question. Will his merengue heart speak louder, or will the appeal of one last big million-dollar contract win out? Will the player give up on his dream of staying at Real to become a protagonist in a star-studded project in Saudi Arabia? Just think, Ceballos reunited with Benzema, playing as an undisputed starter in a league that's less physically demanding and with a truckload of money coming in. Tempting, right? But on the other hand, leaving now, when Real Madrid is going through a rebuild, when youngsters are being tested and the midfield lacks experienced players? Maybe this would be the perfect time to finally prove he deserves to wear the starting white shirt. So, man, what would you do in Ceballos' place? Would you sell him for 20 million and move on? Or would you keep him one more season, giving him the chance to prove himself? Drop your opinion in the comments. Do you think Real Madrid should let Ceballos go now, or is it better to keep him as a strategic piece for the squad? I want to see the merengue army taking a stance. There's a high-level meeting going on in London, and the subject? Rodrigo goes. Yes, the kid who was once treated as the future of Real Madrid is now on the radar of two Premier League sharks, Arsenal and Liverpool. And the one orchestrating it all is none other than the legendary agent Pini Zahavi, the same guy who took Lewandowski to Barca. According to journalist Indy Kayla, Zahavi arrived in the English capital on Wednesday, and 2 days later was already at Anfield watching the Reds game against Bournemouth. But why did Rodrigo end up on the market? The answer is in the last few games. Against Osasuna, he didn't even come off the bench. Do you know how many games he started as a starter in Real Madrid's last 13? Only 1. And most of those matches were already under Xabi Alonso, who says he trusts him, but the lineups show otherwise. Rodrigo has lost his spot. First, it was Arda Güler dazzling in preseason, then Brahim Diaz showing attitude, and now the kid Mastantuono is getting more attention from the coach than the number 11 himself. Rumors from behind the scenes suggest that Real Madrid would agree to negotiate the Brazilian for around 100 million euros. And Rodrigo himself is not ruling out leaving, since he understands that maybe his cycle at the Bernabeu is close to the end. Arsenal, according to the newspaper The Athletic, would only make a move if they sold some players, but with Kai Havertz's injury, the plans may change. Meanwhile, Liverpool sees Rodrigo as a plan B in case they can't close with Alexander Isak from Newcastle. And Manchester City? They were in the race, but with Savio Moreira staying, they dropped out. In other words, the path is open for Arsenal or Liverpool to make their move. Just imagine Rodrigo leaving Real at 24 years old, still in his physical prime. But does he really have the courage to walk away from the biggest club in the world now? And while all of this is happening behind the scenes, with possible sales, millionaire contracts, and negotiations buzzing, on the pitch, there's a silent revolution taking place. A revolution that could totally change the face of Real Madrid in the coming years. Xabi Alonso arrived like a storm. And if there's one thing he made clear from the very first minute in Valdebebas, it's that he didn't come to repeat the mistakes of the past. He has one clear, direct, and non-negotiable mission: to turn Real Madrid into a machine of physical and mental intensity. No more team running out of gas after 70 minutes. No more squad falling apart in the second half of the season. Now, it's pressure from the first to the last second. Last season was a physical disaster. No denying it. A real festival of muscle injuries. The team started the season flying, but by the final stretch it simply imploded physically. The defense turned into a minefield, with a player going down in almost every match day. We suffered watching the team with no legs, wide open lines, losing out on speed even against average La Liga opponents. But that will not happen again under Xabi's command. He himself made it clear in his first internal talks. If the team can't hold up physically, no matter the talent, they'll be left behind. According to an ESPN report, the new coach did a detailed evaluation of the entire club structure and discovered that the problem was deeply rooted. The result? He changed everything. He dismissed part of the old fitness staff, cut outdated methods, and brought in new people with a modern European mindset. The one who arrived was Ismael Caminforte, a true specialist in high-level performance. The guy knows about injury prevention, building endurance, and muscle optimization. No more generic training. Now, Real Madrid works with individualized planning, constant workload monitoring, and scientific preparation from the youth teams all the way to the starters. And it's not just talk. We've already seen results. In the game against Osasuna, the team ran more, pressed higher, and won far more duels than the average of last season. Compactness improved, intensity went up, and defensive organization reappeared. And this is just the beginning. But hold on, fans. Even Xabi Alonso knows there's still a long way to go. The transformation doesn't happen overnight. He's pushing the players to the limit in training, demanding much more, especially from the youngsters like Arda Güler, Franco Mastantuono, Nico Paz, who are still adapting to the weight of professional football at the highest level. Alonso's goal is clear. He wants a Real Madrid that scares not only because of technical quality, but also because of strength, energy, and physical dominance. He wants to see opponents looking at each other in the 60th minute thinking, are these guys still running? That's the mentality. And it's not just for today. This change in physical preparation is part of a long-term strategy to avoid what we've seen in recent years. Teams shining until March and then collapsing when the calendar gets tight. Alonso wants a team that arrives whole in April, May, and June, ready to decide the Champions League with legs, lungs, and fire in their eyes. If he manages to truly implant this, we could see the birth of an even more dominant Real Madrid, with attractive football, yes, but also unstoppable in strength, speed, and intensity. If you've made it this far, it's because you're a true Real Madrid fanatic. So don't waste time. Subscribe to the channel now, hit the bell, and drop that like to support. Here it's daily videos about the most successful club in the world, and more. If the transfer window explodes, you'll hear about it here first with us. Let's go together, Merengue family. Hala Madrid!